time, I'm gonna like go into details. I want this series to be really intimate. Some things, some topics may be enough for people who, you know, they might relate to what like I've been through, or maybe give some insight. So without further ado, let's just hop on in it.
I went from a bag to a bag to a bag. I remember me and mama used to ride the cab. Pull up out the lot, no more lease, we paying cash. Show up to a crib, hand the keys to a jack.
Thing I wanna speak about is the idea of going through something, not being able to adequately go through it, having that process to sort of grieve and get through it. Y'all know, like the 7 steps of grievance, or like when somebody, you know, something traumatic happens in your life. Somebody who is a strong individual, a strong woman who also suffers from anxiety and depression, it actually is so much harder because people take your certain like physical or mental responses to when you're going through that traumatic time as either like, oh, like you can't have a bad day, or they're upset with you because you are having a bad day, if that makes sense. So providing an example. So for me, like I am the only one that looks like me at my quote unquote day job. I will be labeled as angry.
It's a story you people been telling since the dawn of time.
If I'm having a moment, or if I'm you know, if I'm not engaging like how I normally would, people will say like, oh, you must have a chip on your shoulder, or oh, are you mad? And it's so funny because I watch my other female non-person of color can have a good day or a bad day, and it'll be like, oh, so-and-so's just not feeling well. Aww. But never the negative connotation of, oh, are you mad? Are you upset? And it's just so funny to me because I'm like, how do we associate that instead of being like, how is your day going? Why don't I get the benefit of the doubt, right? Why is it that you just assume that I'm angry or I have an attitude? Those are some of the top, like, I think responses. And it's like, for me, I don't know you that well to be like, hey, I'm having anxiety right now. This may be the reason why I'm not really engaging. Because we all know our peers from a young age, our peers will take what they deem as a weakness and run with it. They'll try to use it against you. They'll make you feel like you're less than. They will say they understand, but the moment that they feel wronged by you, they'll throw it back in your face. So for me, I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you what to deal with. I might scratch on it on the surface, but why can't we just respect people's boundaries? Why can't we just say, oh, you know what? I feel the energy, because we all can feel energies. That's the cool thing about being a human being. We feel energies. Some higher, you know, operate on a higher vibration scale, so they might feel the energy much more intently. But for me, I'm pretty sure I can read somebody's energy if they want to engage. Now, I'm not saying I don't know what's truly going on in their head, so I can't say for certain that they're upset or they're sad. But what I can do is know when somebody does not want to maybe interact. That does not mean that you have to automatically go into this defensive mode or you feel personally attacked, right? So I feel like for me, that when I do get that and I'm having a moment, that actually will trigger my anxiety even more, because now I'm like, I have to put away how I'm feeling and not deal with it in order to please and put on this fake happy moment so that people don't feel offended. It's kind of crazy, right? Because it's like, how can I truly deal with what I'm going through if I have to put it to the side and not address it? That's one thing that I've really noticed as a Black woman, is not getting the space to do so, which automatically for me, it like, I will start to feel it. Like my symptoms they start to arise even further. Like I will just like have like a anxious time, or I'll just like it will stick with me throughout the rest of the day. It's also crippling because and I'll touch on it further in another episode, but sometimes it's hard for you to put that aside because you're like thinking about it all day. Like, oh my God, like my anxiety is like on 10, but I can't deal with it right now. So it's like a constant back and forth. Now, mind you, all of this is happening here. It's not even happening here. So you're dealing with everything going up here. It's almost so intense that it becomes impossible to do your job well or to do something well because you're so focused on that. And that puts your brain is like crazy, like intricate, right? But you're exerting so much energy. Have you ever thought about something so hard or had like this cool ass idea and you were writing it down and it was like bam, 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 and you wrote, or you know, however you take notes or whatever, however you take all what's going on and use it, do you ever notice that you become more tired than if you were to like maybe run around the block? Like I know for me, definitely, like you're using a lot of energy. So imagine having to perform at your very best, all the while having this inner dialogue shoot back and forth because you don't want to be labeled the angry Black woman, or the Black woman with the attitude, or the Black woman with a chip on her shoulder. It's like insane, right? But that's my life. That is how it happens. And the only thing I can think of is either I bottle it in and then I explode because of all my anxiousness, or I talk about it. If y'all like this video and the rest of, you know, my mental health series, let me know in the comments. Like I want to be as transparent and you know, open and honest, and I also want to be engaging too, because I want to know what y'all are going through and we can go through this together and get through it and manage it. If y'all haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, turn on notifications, and thank you. Cheers.